Hello, everyone. Um, I have just finished, well, not just finished my Leagues account, but I've been playing Leagues. I've been playing this whole league, and I wanted to create this video inspired by a similar video from one of my friends, which, if I remember, I'll link in the description, to memorialize and to, as Jagex would say, it's an ode to the Catalyst League. First, I will run through all the skills and all the XP in them that I've achieved, and then we'll do a bit of the a bank video, and then look at how many bosses and Slayer creatures I've killed, and maybe some notable collection logs too. And then I have almost 260 screenshots to talk through of the journey of how I obtained all those things. So, start off with the skills, I suppose. Okay, I just realized I have the, I put the Catalyst theme playing in the background because I thought it'd be fitting, but, I'm now worried I might get copyright claimed on YouTube Music. That's okay, hopefully the video doesn't get taken down. Now we're gonna see what all the stuff is in my bank, and I suppose I should probably bank everything for this. Alright. If there are items that are ambiguous, like this key, okay, lighthouse key. Ambiguous items I might mouse over so that they're clearer as to what they are. Okay. I suppose, I don't know, maybe, I guess I was envisioning maybe scrolling over more of the herb seeds, but, like, does it matter if it's Cadentine or Toadflax or Irit? Or, I don't know. I don't like how they changed all the seeds, but whatever. They'd be identifiable if I really cared. While I was doing that slow scroll too, I realized I should also be the league tasks would also be something to see themselves, but for now let's look at boss kills. And Slayer kills. Right. Let's trundle through the task list. I'm gonna close everything and then open everything up. Probably bottom and top would be easiest. I'll try to go a bit faster because this might be preserved on the wiki actually after the leak's closure, but either way, we'll have a record of it here. Okay. Obviously that was pretty fast to read anything, so if you want to see specific tasks that I completed or didn't complete, you're going to have to trundle through it frame by frame. If not, I also suspect the wiki, like you could also just look up all that stuff on the wiki because of the wiki sync, so yeah, that's that. Some boss logs might also be notable. Actually, I guess I have screenshots of those anyways, so we'll leave it at that. For the Leagues account, this might be the last time I log out of my Leagues account. Did I enjoy playing? Yes, I did, and I'll tell you right now, I enjoyed playing the League a lot more than I thought I would. So, go ahead and sign out of that, and I'll pull up my PowerPoint presentation with all the screenshots in it. So the very first screenshot I have, that I just happen to have, is I unlocked Prifdinus. This was, I don't know, probably less than an hour into the league, and we knew Prifdinus was unlocked immediately from the quest autocompletes, but we didn't know how to get there, because you'd have to go through Underground Pass or Randar or whatever. I'm not even sure if we knew that you could, but you could claim a clan Vex south of Falador, teleport right into the clan portal in Prifdinus, and then activate the lodestone. Next screenshot I have, this is the Collodion Tier 30 Weapons, No Armor Onions challenge. I really wanted to use rat gear for this, and I didn't want to... Probably the best food I had access to at the time was sweet corn, but I didn't want to waste any on Collodion, or I had already... I don't think I died. Maybe I died once. I don't know. The point is I did this with Tier 30 weapons and no armor, because I just couldn't be bothered to go get armor. I think I was also 30 defense at the time, although I was obviously 60 magic, because you can't do this without 60 magic. Soul Reaper task. Yes, so we had a clan mole mass, and I guess I picked mole as my first Reaper. That was 80 points out of the gate, was probably pretty significant. You can see I'm already Tier 3 in this one. I picked... I probably showed it when I was in Game 2, but the relics I picked were Excavator, which was the clear choice in Tier 1, Farming Frenzy in Tier 2, which I think really paid dividends, the Abyssal Link, or whatever the heck it's called in Tier 3, I actually don't remember what the thing is called, but you can do the Unlimited Passage of the Abyss with all the TPs on it. In Tier 4, Production Master, which, again, a lot of people I think underrate. Like, if you're going for rank 1 on the league, like if you're going for all tasks, you gotta pick the Clue Relic. If you're any other player, you gotta pick Production Master, I honestly think. In Tier 5, I picked Crit Happens, which is the magic one, because I knew I wanted to play magic this league, just for funsies. Recognizing that it is suboptimal, but I didn't care. I was playing to have fun, essentially, and that much I did. In Tier 6, Perfection. Banker's Note does not hold a candle to Perfection. And in Tier 7, I picked Ascended, the book, which you would have seen in game just a few minutes ago. And here's me unlocking Production Master. Don't know what I was doing at the time. I literally just completed Tier 4. See, there's no task completion there. Oh no, it's because I activated the relic. Yeah, I don't know. When I sent out most of these screenshots to a small Discord with a few people I like to chat with, and I believe I captioned this screenshot with Crappy Constructor, reaching level 5 construction. Horror from the Deep. This was a big quest. I wanted to do it for the ranged XP, because you needed 40 range to get into the Ranging Guild to do the unlimited money method with the rune arrows with Production Master. Or I guess Production Master just made it faster, but it was infinite money. And I had to do this for something else, too. Oh, defeated Dagonoth in the Fremennik Province. Maybe that was it. Here's me getting level 6-7 fletching. Here's me in the pit. Look at that inventory too. I was just using whatever food I could get my hands on, huh? And we get up into the gear check too. You can see Batwing robes and the Staff of Gothics. So that's probably 750 defense still. Here's me getting 6-7 woodcutting. I was woodcutting these maples at some point. Also, you can see in some of the screenshots the graphics are turned radically down. That's because I was AFKing on my my mini laptop, which is not nearly as strong as my PC, so the settings are considerably lower. But I was woodcutting at this point with one of my friends. He was on U-Trees. He might have been at the bank in this screenshot, or maybe I was just doing this of my own accord, or I hadn't hopped to his world yet. But I do distinctly remember cutting trees side by side with him, essentially. And with 6-7 woodcutting comes 6-7 fire making. Here's the first pet I got on Leagues, which was Ralph, which I got from pickpocketing a man in Al-Kharid, which was pretty crazy, because this one is normally pretty hard to get on the main game, I suppose. Here's me getting 6-7 fishing. Rune crafting. I believe what this is demonstrating is a catalyst before handing in Rune Dust. Yes. Oh yeah, there's a lot of players right there, and the pure energy is underneath that massive players. Far-reaching and wide-ranging. Wildies were extremely important to progression in leagues. So getting that one done unlocks the teleport. Very, very useful to have. And I also got in there at like the 11th hour for this event because it was the Forgotten Soldiers. I like to call it Novite Nuisance. Novite Nuisance, Bathist Brigade, Marmoris Marauders, Kratonite Crusaders, many such variations. Soulbell Soldiers, Roseblood Rioters? I don't know. This is when I was fighting Glod, or rather after I killed Glod while doing Grim Tales. I believe I did Grim Tales for the woodcutting XP. And you can see, for whatever reason, there's a skybox that has the Dominion Tower below it. Why is this graphically updated when this quest is pretty considerably old? Couldn't tell you. A lot of screenshots I took were of me completing tasks, specific tasks, and this is, I believe this is the road from Tier 6 to Tier 7. Mining and smithing were kind of the path, because there were a bunch of tasks that you would unlock, like just like wear Elder Rune armor, smith Elder Rune armor, smith armor spikes. Like you would unlock all these tasks, and like this one, this is with 102 mining. Mine a bunch of clay in the Everlight Cavern, mine a bunch of platinum, mine some animica, mine some primal ores, mine all the primal ores within 5 minutes. There were a lot of points behind mining and smithing, and the excavator relic made them very easy to train in tandem. This is some combat training, so I was probably a pretty pitifully poor magic level at this point, and I needed to get that up if I was going to do any sort of PVM. So a lot of the early part of this league too is trying to solve the issue of getting tier 90 weapons. I had to go with the stupid Eternal Magic weapons from the 110 rune crafting update. So that was part of the reason why I was in the rune span in that one screenshot, is I knew I would have to get it's some absurd level. It's like 100 to imbue those things, and yeah, even to wield them is 90 magic. So here I am training my magic just on bandits with Blood Barrage because I didn't have Soul Split yet. Not that I had any way of regenerating prayer either, other than drinking potions, and I just wanted to AFK. So that's what we're doing here. So this was complete the adventure tutorial, 200 points. I had meant to do that to unlock Tier 7. I had actually just done Tier 7. Had just unlocked it by the time I did the adventure tutorial because it became relevant for me at that point. I think on account of having something that was augmentable. Maybe I'm wrong, but either way, completing the invention tutorial, I thought it was pretty funny to get level 20 invention when normally in the main game I think it gives you 5 just because of the XP multiplier. This is, so there's a task that I did to chop 20 bloodwood logs, and there are 3 bloodwood trees in the wilderness that you can chop with no additional requirement. I chopped the 3 of them, and I got 18 bloodwood logs, and they have like a 6-hour respawn. So I was pretty mad. I shit you not. The 4th bloodwood tree I chopped gave me 7 bloodwood logs. This is a screenshot from that. I have never been mocked more by a video game than that point. Unlocking more puzzle pieces. This is getting 90 something here. Oh, 90 defense. That would be what it is. So I can equip Tectonic. I shared this with my Discord, and I said, fire making is solved. Just, I kind of knew fire making would come down to putting logs on fire. Actually, it was my one buddy who told me that, who I did all the PVM with. He was the one who told me that we would just have to, like, do bosses and then burn magic logs, which I was fine with, really. Perks of Tier 7. So I did Invention to 200 mil straight away for the 400 points. at tier 7, as well as the 200 at 50 mil invention, 120 invention, and if you count it, 99 invention. As well as you get infinite money from the magic stone disassembly method, and so you could just get billionaire. And I think you could give money to Richard as well for either 200 or 400 points. So yeah, pretty good. Infernal chart. That rhymes with something. 99 divination from a cache. Divination was good. There was a lot of points available in the Hall of Memory as well, which was useful, so I appreciated that. I did that pretty early in my account for the points. Here's me leveling up in runecrafting. You have to have 95 to use the Greater Conjuration platform. Here I am using it. And for those of you who don't know, although probably everyone does, it's not really a secret, this creature is what Rue the runecrafting pet is based off of. 99 runecrafting. Essential reading. You can see the graphical glitch in the RuneSpan interface with the pure energy and then the astral star over it. The rune sphere is right over there. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Rune sphere is right over there towards the right side of the image, sort of next to where the corner of my minimap is. And it's on astral. When the rune sphere respawns after having been cored and you haven't logged out, then it can display weird graphics like that. 99 prayer. Big one for the account. I trained this over 2 half-an hours up to 50 mil, so I suspect that screenshot's coming in the near future. But 99 prayer unlocks soul split, unlocks max prayer points, unlocks turmoil. Very essential to have. Here's me equipping some armors for a lot of points. Again, very good to have done smithing. Took me a little while to get the 90 defense, though. I was really opposed to training, just training combat on crap methods like bandits, because I kind of knew if you're training combat, you generally either want to be doing Slayer or you want to be doing just bosses in leagues, because, I mean, it's so darn fast. Rune Ceremonial Sword, just from training up smithing, you had to get the thing, and then you had to get 100% on the sword. Luckily, I'm very good at ceremonial swords, and several people may be able to attest to that in the comments. We'll see. 99 magic. Big milestone for the account. Obviously very important, because I'm playing a magic relic. So this was something I pulled, this is a bit of a stroke of genius that hit me while I was doing a blood tree on leagues. I had looked, and I was like 20k fire making XP from a level, and so I contributed my 45 to the blood tree or whatever in the 3rd phase. Teleported to the Eternal Magics, put on Superheat form, which for some reason sidesteps the level requirement to burn the log that you're incinerating. And I leveled my Fire Making Quick to level 84 so I could get marginally more XP from the Wildy's reward, which I was successful in, as you can see. Excuse me. Here's a 99 invention. This is pretty stereotypical. 50 million invention. Again, this gizmo thing is, I didn't play at invention release. I played close to invention release, but they'd already adjusted how much XP gizmos give. So it was kind of funny to live the life of just spamming gizmos. The 120, and then... Oh, I guess why did I hold off on the 200 mil? Probably because it was... I came to the realization that I could do that at any time. Oh yeah, because at level 115, you start just making equipment separators. I think I probably did the 120 for the points, and then started going and doing other things. Also, you can see the extreme imbalance in skills, because I was just getting 120 invention in that last shot. And here I am getting 45 summoning from Tales of the God Wars. Also doing Tales of the God Wars, got a Zamorak hilt. And I think I stuck out this trip because obviously I'm going to need subjugation. And you can see how crummy the gear is right now. I was wearing the Salve Amulet not because these enemies, Zack and Brich, are susceptible to it, Balford, Kriath, and the rest of them. But just because it was a stat-boosting amulet. I did hit Amulets of Power, so I was kind of garging here, but whatever, it's like 11 stat bonus, and you can see I'm still using a tier 50 orb. I hated imbuing those things. Here's my first tiers of Gothics, where I got 6-7 tiers. And the result of that was a good jump in summoning levels. Yeah, I'd say I advanced 16 summoning levels. So I was level 45 when I went in there, which we saw in the previous screenshot. So this was the strat for mid-level summoning, I suppose. The 50 mil prayer, that was probably one of my earliest 50 mils just because you could buy it and it was only like 2 hours of training. Here's Richard. I would have thought I would have done that at the same time as Billionaire, but no. Also, how do I have only 470? Oh, I said I had tier 70 at the start of Invention, but or tier 7 rather, but I must have only had tier 6. Wouldn't you know it? Surely that's my... This is my tier 7, right? The 200 mil Invention? Maybe not. Maybe I didn't take a screenshot of it. Either way, so... One of the things that we were repeatedly told by our clan leader over the course of Leagues is that rune crafting is 2 quests. The 2 quests in question are Wild Gothic Sleeps and Extinction. You could put all the XP from those on rune crafting, and then you're done with rune crafting. Supposedly. I don't know. I never did the math on any of it. Seemed like kind of bunk. I wanted to do the Gnome Quest series number 1 because it's like one of the best ones in the game. And number 2... because there was a sizable runecrafting reward on one of them, and then number 3, it is a requirement for Wild Gothic Sleeps, at least to do this quest, which is Path of Glove-Free. And this screenshot is just Hazelmere talking about his imminent death. One thing I didn't realize is he bails you out of a situation where you're certainly going to die in that quest, and he... Argento's seed. He basically Hazelmere's death is as a result of the player's stupidity and foolhardiness in this quest. Like the type of things you see when you replay quests. This guard is a chud. Level 99 Archaeology. Really interesting thing about Archaeology is... What the heck was I doing? Oh yeah, so the method for Archaeology was you would go to the Demonheim place, you do Dragonkin 5 collection, which requires 73 Archaeology to start gathering artifacts from it. But since the League luck increase was in place, and tomes are affected by luck, you would get 6 times as many tomes. So I probably just read some tomes and got like probably half your XP, maybe like 45% of your XP just comes from just getting tomes while excavating. Very strange. This was a big moment because I was praised for having discovered or pioneered the God Banner as a way of essentially progressing early, boosting your stats, and like accessing stuff that would normally be out of reach. And this is a prime example of that. Not only did you get XP in specific skills for completing the tasks, which was then multiplied by the League multiplier, but you also got level boosts when you completed given tiers of the God Banner. And so here I am getting the last God Emissary task in Agility in the exploration route. That leveled me to 80 Agility, and it gives me a +5 level boost on the Agility banner, which is enough, basically, to mean I can access the full Anachronia course. And I had to use that to run about 2 or 3 laps, and then I was 85 naturally, so then I had just fully unlocked the course. But here, I was able to use that banner boost to access that. Starting up the Krilled Sutzeroth grind here, which is kind of a funny story, but the effigy expert, like hitting an effigy, training up defense too, as you can see. So a lot of good stuff going on in this image. Next one I know is also a Krilled Sutzeroth image where I'm getting a boots, and there might be one more. Oh, there's a boots and a Z spear on the floor. Yeah, I got a lot of drops. You know, I've only killed the bosses 15 times, and that's already like my inventory. I bought so much prayer. It's like my inventory's just filling up. Word of Subjugation. Tier 70 shield, that stuck with me the whole league. I went into hard mode, really against my better judgment, and kind of punished me. I wanted the pure essence from hard mode, but I kind of just ended up doing rune mysteries and rune memories for that crap anyways, because the hard mode was just like, wasn't worth it. Like, I couldn't sustain. Probably needed better gear. Go figure. 99 defense. 99 ranged, and yes, I was doing the combat God Banner route here, so again, the XP from God Banners was pretty valuable. Oh, actually, never mind. That was a Wildy's lamp, 968k. But I still have the God Banner in my inventory, so I was doing that during the Wildy's wait timer probably. Time runes. Craft 500 time runes. Time runes were integral to this league because advanced time had no cooldown, so you could just go crazy at Dream of Aya. You could go crazy at Play Your Own Farm, and you could also go crazy on archaeology research. Although I didn't do that too much. A lot of that stuff, though, was happening later, so we'll see it later on in the screenshots. Here's Jad. Killed him the first time. I'm not sure I even touched the Eat Her Cods. Yeah, all the Eat Her Cods are still around. Here's the second Jad, where you had to use your Fire Cape on Jad. It was another 80 points, but it was like 20 minutes. It was like 20 minutes for 80 points is generally a good trade, and you can see. Again, I just ignore the Eat Her Cots because I'm a baller like that. Fishing, this might be the only fishing task I have screenshotted. Just, you had to fish like 200 Frenzy in a row, and then I, like, stepped away because I I just wanted to do the rest of my fishing at Aya, which might even be faster, so, yeah. First Araxi kill. So, I actually ended up doing a lot more Araxor than I, like, because I kind of hate Araxor. Also, here you can see the wood shield in preset. That was because I forgot I had the Word of Subjugation. I did a lot of Araxor because it gave Onyxes, and I did a lot of Reapers, and I ended up, we'll see in some future screenshots, I ended up making all 3 of the weapons for 200 points each, which was a pretty worthwhile use of my time, I think. Here's me doing Gate. When you unlocked Gate passively at Tier 4, I tried to challenge it, and I thought Gate did percent damage to you, but it actually doesn't. It's actually straight, you know, damage to your health, and I kind of realized I was like using lobsters and sweet corn, and I had like level 70 HP. I'm like, I cannot defeat Gate the conventional way, so I cleansed the one Gate for the 80 points. I didn't do any more Gate than this, but yeah. Okay. This screenshot was me doing an Infernal Star on League. I had just done it on the main game as well, so I got to relive the when you could hop worlds and do wildies again from League. In the future, though, I wised up and realized the ones on League would generally finish faster than the ones on main game, and so I would do the main game second. Riveting. What we're about to see is some obscene luck at raids. Here's Acto Primeval Boots. Magic Capability Codex, unlocked Corruption Blast, and very good ability to unlock. Here's what one guy said in our group, which I thought was extremely funny. We had failed Yaka like twice because the damage was too fast. It was so stupid. It's just like failing basic Yaka mechanics. Granted, I hadn't done Yaka in 4 or 5 years at this point. So I was definitely screwing up like probably the first 2 or 3 minutes of the first attempt that we did, but eventually we pulled through. I think actually our team disbanded down to like 6 people, but I managed to re-invite everyone because I got leader, and then we actually got the kill, and I got Active Gloves too, which was like crazy to have this amount of crap for Animate Dead already. It's literally tier 90 tank gear. Doing Elder Kiln. This puzzle was like way harder than I remember. That balancing mechanic was kind of punishing. Second run of Tears of Gothic, so, you know, a week has elapsed since the last one, or at least a weekly reset has, and I got 7-6 Tears instead of 6-7. Here's me entering the Elder Kiln, or at least sacrificing the Fire Cape. Harakan starting. Harakan finishing, I think, yep. There's the Takhar Kalmesh. I don't know what the screenshot is of Harakan. I might have one-cycled it. I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, this was my first try. I didn't have augmented crap yet, so Harakan. Obviously, once you get to Harakan, you take your Mystic Robes and your Acto Primeval, and you go to normal mode Zuck. I have killed some friggin' Zuck in my day, so this was not a challenge for me. It actually was a challenge. I did fail the first time. Or I didn't fail, I got to Zuck and then I died. Because he hit way harder than I expected, but with the help of Vampirism Aura, I was able to get it done. You can see in this screenshot. Leveled 99 farming. This was from a Wildy's, probably a Pesky Plants. And I don't know what plank stones are in my inventory. Maybe they're Acadia. I was under this delusion. I should have just checked the task list. I don't know why. I was under the delusion that you had to fully upgrade every building in your fort for 200 points. And I was like prepared to do that for whatever reason. Even though the return on your time is not great. But it was actually just the guardhouse. But I think the Acadia is still relevant for upgrading your guardhouse anyway. So this might not necessarily have been time wasted. Level 99 HP at Archglacior from the minions. Which is kind of interesting, but that's how HP typically goes. The loot from Archglacior was kind of crazy, because 140 crystal keys is like some serious crafting XP if you need it from the Dragonstones. Of course, I just ended up doing it at Aya anyways, because it was easier and you could 15-minute AFK it and do something on main game, which is what I tended to do. Complete 5 Soul Reaper tasks, also at the Glacior. These two Onyxes. So you can see, again, we're completing Soul Reaper tasks. I'm trying to get my EOF here, and these are the first 2 Onyx gemstones on my account. I really didn't want to do more kilns for them, but so I was actually successful. These 2 were for the Amulet of Souls and the Reaper Necklace. Middle leg also on my Araxor journeys. This is the first of 3 that we will see. I don't really like middle path. That's kind of what I realized. I don't really like top path either. Bottom path is kind of non-interactive, but at a boss like Araxor, not interacting with it is good. 95 Slayer from Worm. I didn't even know Worm gave Slayer XP until I did this league, because I've always been max XP since it's been around. Here's me getting 99 Fire Making from a Blood Tree. And then a few seconds later getting 99 Construction with the Magic Stone method. You might be wondering how I'm building Demonic Thrones while not being 99. That is because of the boost from Production Master. The Ranger arc begins! My friend offered to take me to Duo Raksha because I have the ability that he doesn't to tank Raksha. I know Raksha mechanics. He was just along for the ride for DPS, but he had way better gear than me at this point. Like, he had his EOF, so he could use the Iban Blast special attack. And we made a very good team at Raksha. I was very satisfied with our kills. Bottom leg here. Middle leg again. Let's see. Yeah, so 6 more souls to reap from Araxi. 2 more souls to reap from Araxi here. So I was quite lucky on the legs that we got. Even still, I got the base pet as well. So I actually seriously was contemplating. There's a 400 pointer for do all the Araxi combat achievements, and to spoil going forward here, I did get the exit kill as well for 400 points. And I thought, oh yeah, you can just do that speed timer one with just melee. You just walk in and basically use exit kill and you're kind of good to go. But I realized you kind of need Chaos Roar for that method to work, so I ended up not doing it, and I ended up not killing any more Araxor than strictly necessary. But in future leagues, if pets carry over, I I will maybe be getting the Araxi collection log. Who knows? Just that's obviously Reaper task completion, and then also going after the Araxi pets now. Here's me singing about my divination in Fremenic Trials. I was just kind of curious as to why it picked divination, but sure enough it did. Catalyst Adamant Trophy from crafting some Cosmic Runes. 50 million magic at Raksha. Divert. This was an ability I was very happy to have because I thought it was going to do a bunch of Raziel, and it's necessary for the Razieltation, as some of you may know. Here's my third mid-leg. It's actually kind of weird and excited, disappointed to have the mid-legs already done. At least I think that's my third mid-leg. I think we've seen other two mid-legs. So yeah, this is the third mid-leg, and it's like, well, if I have a Reaper, that's path 1, I get all my top legs, then what? I guess I had no top legs at this point. So, whatever, we forge on with the Raxor. Here's my first hilt, but, you know, it's the wrong one, it's the worst one. A Scythe would have been melee, like melee for Slayer, and the eye would have been a direct upgrade over my crappy tier 90 weapons. I would have been able to make a staff. So the actual only thing of note in this is the Onyxes. But I did put that web to good use. 200 points for wielding it, and you'll see it in future screenshots. Bottom leg. So yeah, again, very lucky on these legs. Tectonic Energy. Okay, first Virago kill. Doing Virago in this gear. And you can see my buddy here, he's got the Ode of Deceit, so I think he has both the Nakatra weapons and then Animacorp Saren armor and Blast Diffusion boots. Imagine that. I was bomb tanking, he was base tanking. Here's a classic from the days of archaeology. When you put the torch in the sconce at Everlight, you can examine it and it says, "It's lit!" Nothing else, which I find to be pretty funny. It's time! This is me making my first overloads on the account. Here is unlocking Aftershock. We got pretty lucky at the start of Leagues with, you kind of had to rush to 68 Fishing to get the Merchant Shop that you needed to get, but you could get a bunch of Anima Crystals. You get up to 4 Anima Crystals in like the first week of League. And then you get the fifth one from doing Tales of the God Wars. That gets you all the reputation you need for Aftershock. This E4R3 took me like 200 attempts. That was not a fun time. And this was before you could disassemble the gizmos with any sort of speed. So then I had a bunch of gizmos to go die in Red Portal with. Here's level 99 Slayer. Just doing some Abyssal Demons. Made good use of my potions. I made aggro potions here as well for the one task. And I think actually I might have only had 3 doses of aggro pod and I used them all for the Slayer task, but it was worth it because I got 99. 99 agility, not from handing in a warband, but from handing in the Wilderness Tasks 4. 50 million fletching, you can see I went so far. Oh, I got flow in my inventory here. You can see I went as far as unlocking broad arrows, so I'd be able to buy 3,000 arrowheads at a time instead of like 10 or whatever it is at the Void Knight Outpost. 110 wood cutting while I was preparing to do as a first resort, getting some eucalyptus logs. Hellfire bow, I was doing Chrysalis Crusaders, as you can see from the butterfly, and there was just the Hellfire bow on the floor over here, so I handed in my 10 butterflies, teleport to Edgeville, opt into PvP, teleport to Lodestone, pick up the bow, teleport out, opt out of PvP. It's pretty slick. 99 Hunter from Effigy. Yeah, you can see the lamp just dropped in my inventory. Do you have the XP drop? Nope. Whatever. 99 Hunter. Completed big game encounter. This was 200 points, and it was really easy, so I was glad to have this task. Here's 2 in a bed, not 3 in a bed. I'm Unfortunately, no additional league points for this, but it was fun. Tested my chops at Big Game Hunter here. 150 Rocktail. This task took forever, but you could just AFK it. I did bank all the Rocktails, and it's some trek to the bank. I don't know if I do that again, but yeah, I felt like I would need them for the cooking XP, and I was kind of right. So I don't really regret that, but this task took forever. Here's me getting 50 minutes smithing, and I got the smithing brawlers on, so I only had to do 2 primal burial sets. You can see I didn't even finish this one, so I didn't mind smithing all that much when it was multiplied by 16, but on the main game, going from bars to burial is torturous. Here's a Divine Rage from Vermix. Yes, so at this point I have a Seismic Singularity in the offhand. I was really wanting a Roar of Awakening, because then I would have augmentable weapons in both hands. And wouldn't you know it, I got 1 billion XP. Okay, not where I thought that was going, but sure enough, that's a milestone for the account. Man, I'm going on all these diversions here. So this is actually one of the few screenshots that features main game in this presentation. I was doing necromancy on 2 accounts here, which is something I've done before, actually, with Exigorfan doing rituals. But yeah, doing Raziel on main and doing rituals on the alt. And here's 99 from rituals. Here's the scuffed setup. I went back to bandits because I also had the dungeoneering levels to get Demon Horn necklace now, so I could restore my prayer reliably at bandits. And so this was 15-minute AFK. Yeah, you can see the Sun Spear. I had only the best melee weaponry, so Sun Spear and then just Aura Calcum armor because I didn't have any power armor, or I just like didn't go to Rardor even though I could have at this point. I don't know. My first top leg. Also, these overload flasks were really valuable too, because I had this Grenwall spike problem that I only solved by doing Abyssal Beast, which was the solution the whole time, but it wasn't the solution I wanted to hear. So, whatever. Second top leg. I think I'm now sitting at 232, so I was pretty happy with this because I knew I kind of only wanted Scythe and Staff if push came to shove. Another Reaper down at Araxi. my thought when I saw this was just like, okay. I guess I was getting better at Araxor, huh? Oh, this one didn't go very well. Gavin is the mirror back one, I believe. So yeah, I had to kill Araxor with the mirror back reflect damage, and it. You can see things got a bit hairy at the end here, but I pulled it off. There's my third top leg. Yes, so I'm sitting 332 now on the legs. And I was kind of worried. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have to keep going to get hilts that I want. Oh my god! Chat, this is unironically huge for the account! So I've Roar of Awakening. I was very pleased to get this first. So then I had an augmentable weapon in both hands. I never did get my Catspeak amulet out and speak to Makat, so... Although, I would have had no shot at doing the Underworld Diary 4 anyways. Once I had the Roar of Awakening, I had Soulfire at my disposal, even unenhanced by the set effect with the Ode. Still got me some good PRs at Sanctum while I was grinding them out for the Ode. Obviously, after Strength comes Attack, using the same, just goofiest setup. I took to Dag Kings. Now that I had 332 on the legs, I knew I'd be able to craft another weapon immediately upon getting another hilt from Araxor, so I put that web on a leg and made a bow with it. And I had a tier 90 bow, I had the Sun Spear, and then obviously I had my tier 95-90 magic setup. I killed the whole combat triangle of the the Dagonoth Kings, because that also gave me boss kills for War, and I had a Dagonoth Slayer task, and it was like 14k Slayer XP per kill, so it was actually pretty good. And also, it didn't really lose me that much time on rec skills. Plus, it was like, that's just what I know. So that was what I did. Here's some disappointment in my Dad King's log. You can see I'm trying to get Reaving Ring at this point. I got 3 Berserker rings and more of all the other rings, so such is the way, though, I suppose. This is just a screenshot I saw of... These guys are just like... I saw these players and I thought they were crazy. This is like where the whole no cosmetic aspect of Leagues comes in. This guy's got hard summoned Blackstone Dragon Pet. He's wielding a Dark Sliver. This guy right here is praying Necromancy. He's got, like, you know, top and legs of Raziel on, and then he's got more Raziel pieces around him on the floor that he just dropped and is resting in. Like, this guy's crazy. You can see I still have 3 Zerker rings on my log right here, and I was none too satisfied about it. Again, Zerker rings still lagging behind. Here's my eye. I was a lot less psyched to see this because I kind of already outclassed it just by having the Roar of Awakening and the Seismic Singularity, but it was still 200 points. I also got a Fang before I got my last bottom leg, which was kind of huge, because that in my head that unlocked the possibility of doing Soul Devours with Slayer, but I neglected to realize I actually don't have Vamp Scrim because of ports, so hey, what are you gonna do? But, you know, it was a good mental block that was lifted. Plus, it's 200 points. Dad Kings again. Look at this: 16 Warrior Ring, 7 Zerker Ring. I was getting a bit pissed off at this point. 120 Archaeology. You can see I was doing Everlight. I think one of these screenshots coming up here is me solving all the mysteries at Everlight. I guess the next screenshot, though, is me getting 50 million defense at Virago here. We're trying to get enough Tectonic Energy to make all the pieces of Tectonic. You can see I have the helmet and the legs, but I still need the chest. Here's me equipping my Scythe. I took it to Dad Kings, of course. Yeah. I didn't even know this was a task when I did it. I actually just needed Fell Stalks for Elder Overloads, I think I was trying to make, and I was like, oh, well, that's a neat bonus. Fishing at Aya. A lot of skills were trained at Aya. Catching a Crystal Imp. I kind of knew it would happen eventually. I just happened to do it in Ithel here. Art of the Warrior. So at this point I had all my Berserker rings, and I was just trying to get the Reaver's Ring now, and so I got the Heart of the Warrior, and then on the 13th kill of Orichalca, I got the Heart of the Berserker. I kind of just played these two by ear. I didn't really cast Entangle as much as I probably should have, and I think I only got Frostbitten once or twice, so hey, you know, whatever works. Here's a gear check. I thought it was really cool at this point. Yeah, full power armor and augmentable stuff, the Reaving Ring, the Tier 7 book, and the Zuck Cape, Mage Zuck Cape. I thought it was pretty cool. Oh, I must have gotten those in the wrong order. Oh, never mind. Because I had the Seismic Singularity, and then here's the Ode to Deceit. So I actually just, like, I took that gear screenshot, and then I immediately upgraded my gear. Yep, here's the all Everlight mysteries. So then I know the 400 pointer for fully exploring the dig site can't be too far off. Here's my third bottom leg. So then that's my Araxi trilogy. Really a powerful communion ritual. Yeah, I did a bunch of rituals for 120. I actually I put 35,000 souls into the urn because I thought I would need to unlock all the talents to do Raziel, but I ended up just like not touching that so much because, again, like I said when I got the divert, I thought I was gonna do a lot of Raziel. Nah, I do a lot of Raziel on the main game. On leagues, it kind of just got pushed to the side repeatedly. More on that later. Okay, so these two in much the same vein. 50 million Necromancy XP and do a powerful communion ritual. Here's a fully explored Everlight. I just had to pick off the researches because I had neglected to discover them Kind of weird when you do archaeology all out of order. You come in at a really high level and like, well, yeah, and then I swear I got unlucky on the pages too, but who knows? 110 crafting again at Aya. I really feel like I'm losing my voice here too. I've just been talking for however long this video's been going on. Level 90 thieving, and this was my last level 90, so level 90 in all skills. Cracked 6 safes in the Rogue Castle. That was a good little thing you could do, and I got the rune trophy unlocked right here. So I was pretty satisfied with myself at this point. I still did want the 63.5k for all the cosmetics, like all the cosmetics of your own accord. But I kind of thought Rune is a good like runner-up because I wasn't sure I was gonna finish at this point, even though like stupid it was probably like mid start of October, and I was like, oh, I only got a month left, but like on pace I would have been fine. This guy just when I saw this guy quick chat this, I was like, I just thought of the JonTron meme. But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that? This really cheesed me off when I was doing Vault of Shadows. The wiki does not have a generic solution to the puzzle in Vault of Shadows mystery, so I had to take one myself and like refer back to it, and it was really clunky, and really made me kind of mad because I'm smart, I can solve the puzzle, and I did solve all the puzzles myself. You know why? Because I used my brain. First care pack kill, got a fractured shaft, and I also, whenever I would kill one of these bosses, I would say, I still got it, and I still did have it, and fun fact, on the main game, I got a fractured shaft on my 14th kill. So, yeah. I don't know. Cool! getting staff pieces is cool. 99 thieving. Not much more to say about that one. 50 million crafting again at Aya, doing things on the main game. Very useful to have this. 50 million ranged from Wildies. Sack of Very Wild Rewards. We can only assume it was a KBD or a Infernal Star. Greater concentrated blast. Okay, excuse me. Took me a little bit longer to obtain than I thought it would, but once I did, it improved my care pack times quite significantly because it actually synergizes really well with Crit Happens. You just deal a lot more damage because your conks give you 5% more crit chance on the next ability, and they themselves crit more often. So, as well as just G-Conk just does more damage than normal conk. So yeah. He's beginning 9-9 summoning. I tended to use Geyser Titans a lot actually throughout the whole league just because it was just the familiar I had on hand. Unstable Air Runes is just a legendary merchant stock. Sadly, I never did get the greater runic staff from the Runespan because it was too many Runespan points. Getting Carapac done. 50 million Hunter. Because I went and stopped mid-hour, did the Chrysalis Crusaders, which was worth it, obviously. And you can see the Gano boots and gloves. At this point, I had forgotten that I had the Acto ones, but shh, we don't talk about that. Frac Gem Millionaire. So this is my second one on Carapac. 110 fire making again. Just throwing logs on the fire from monsters that I got. And here's the frac symbol. 57 kills, and I finished Carapac. Making the staff, wielding the staff. Final collection log from Carapac. Woodcutting XP at the Eternal Magics. I really kind of did this in the wrong order because I ended up chopping a bunch of elders, which is why I went over 50 mil, because I had this stupid map in my head. So I want to do that fort thing, or no. I wanted to get 50 mil construction, and I wanted to do that with magic stones. But in order to do that, I had to do the fort thing first. And in order to do the fort thing, I had to do all the wood cutting from the fort. In order to do the wood cutting, I had to have it was Elder Logs to make Elder Frames. In order to do that, I had to F Elder Stone Spirits. In order to do that, I had to do Raziel, because Raziel drops Elder Wood Spirits. And in order to do Raziel, I had to do all the Necromancy stuff. So that's, what was that, like 7 different prerequisites that I just like made up in my head. I had just completely forgotten, and I needed something to AFK for like 15 minutes, you know, with medium intensity, and so I went to the Eternal Magics and just polished it off, and was like, okay, well, I shot myself in the foot doing that. I say 15 minutes. It was actually like, look at this. It's like almost an hour, but I don't know. I just kind of like AFK'd it. Time flies when you're AFKing. Elite Falador task. You could do these. You could do the diaries out of order, and the elites. Excuse me. A lot of the elites were 200 points actually, and you just it was probably like 5 achievements for some of them. Escape Caridet by boat. This was probably the easiest 200 pointer of all time. You just have to get to a certain point in Vault of Shadows, and that's it. Defeat the Kalphite King solo. First kill, first try, got Mage Phase, blitzed him down, and then I got a Drygor to boot, so that was a good little kill of the Kalphite King. Upgrading my Necromancy gear here. Hard fought for. Here's the 120, back on the Ritual Grind set, as you can see. That also does the max combat level, so this was 400 points. Doing Ghosts Ahoy for the Necromancy quest so I can upgrade my gear. And I instantly drew a Death Rune. I love playing Rune Draw. Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it. Apparently there were points on making a passing bracelet. I was going to make one anyways because I wanted to do Necromancy rune crafting. Because I'm like, I'm going to fight Raziel. Herblore. Well, level 120 Herblore. You can see the order in which I did things here. The 120 Herblore, and then next screenshot. Made 30 prayer potions. Oh man. Kill a living wyvern. I ended up getting a task for these guys, and I did the whole task because it was big Slayer XP. They really friggin' hurt you without Vamp Scrim. Normally I do melee Vamp Scrim with these guys. Having 2 of them on you is a stupid idea. 50 million fire making XP, although I kind of screwed up the screenshot. So that's fire making taken care of as well. Good. Some Kurt brain rot for you when I was doing Desperate Times. There's more brain rot for you. This one was the legitimate solution to the puzzle. The Kurt one was not. The Kurt thing is a callback to Tribal Totem. 99 Cooking, which is as far as I took cooking. You can see I was using lobsters, so you got rock tails from Serum Spirits, you also got lobsters from Serum Spirits, and that was about all you could ask for when you're training the cooking skill. So at this point, I was doing Desperate Times. I'm now getting into Elder God Wars Quest series, and I really like Karapak's character. Like, I really like the boss, but I also, as a character in the story, I think he's really cool. So here's, I generally have like one screenshot from each quest in the series, and this one is from Desperate Measures, I believe. Here's Karapak's monologue during the climax of Desperate Measures. He said it. They always they more than one time in the quest series they say it. So he said it right here. And then this is also more just like reflection on Karapak's character. Here's tier 90 to my Necromancy equipment. I'm feeling pretty strong with Necromancy now. Took it to Krill Tsutsiroth, and because I thought I could just AFK with Ghost. Was not as successful as I thought, so I ended up I finished up Krill Tsutsiroth. I had to get my Subjugation Pants still, and then I just AFK'd with Magic at the other 2 God Wars bosses that were relevant. Ziliana didn't really have any points to attach to her, so I AFK'd with Magic at Corridor and Kurara. And turns out you don't actually need the healing of Ghosts there, because you can use Demon Horn to restore your prayer. Here's one from As an Address Quest. I don't know why this screenshot is in here like so late. I guess I had bitter cap spores and then I planted them, and I thought it was kind of funny that I didn't do that until this point when I had 53k league points. This is one of my favorite moments in As an Address Quest. Stop the count! And from As an Address Quest, I got 50 mil div. Oh, there's my subjugation pants. So yeah, finally equipping a full set of subjugation armor. Here's Battle of the Monolith. Based Zeros. Here's City of Sentiston. Kind of forgot about the whole impetus for City of Sentiston is As an Adra. There's like some line Ariane says about we need one, you know, selfless god with an excess of power. And it's like, oh, hello. We just got one of those. I have had 2. At I have had 2. Saren. Yeah. She said it! She said it! She did say it right here. She said it again! And then this moments before disaster in Extinction, touching the idol of Leviathan in Erebus. This one and then this one I have as desktop backgrounds on the computers that I use that are not my main one. So I really like these 2 images. They come from Extinction. Carapax's a good character. What can I say? I like him. And then here's the Extinction completion. There's 110 rune crafting. You know, haven't moved the tile since I completed the quest. After I did Extinction, I went to the poop training area and the accidental skilling station, and I did some of the things there. I got an unchecked. I got up to like brush my teeth or something. It was like pretty late at night at this point, like 11:45. So I got up to brush my teeth, clicked on the egg pile, and I had gotten an unchecked egg on like the 12th dino. I was like, oh well, that problem solved. Fletch any type of Elder God arrow. This one was really annoying because it's not fletch any type of Elder God arrow. That's not what it is. What this task actually is fletch 15 of any type of Elder God arrow at once, which is the default quantity, but like, I didn't want to waste all my supplies if I didn't like I was going to use those things to thingy with. Except I was already 50 mil fire making at this point, so who knows. I didn't feel like the need to expend my resources. Whatever. Complete a Slayer task from Mandrith. Yes, and you can see the 236 Grenwall spikes in my inventory. I finally solved the Grenwall problem. I had refused to for so long, but push came to shove. Needed overloads to fuel the rest of my escapades on leagues here, and I got them from this task. In fact, there they are. And in fact, this is what I'm doing with them. So, first Zuck kill in hard mode, and I still got it. Obsidian Blade, this was for my second hard mode, I think. Yeah, I thought that was like crazy. Like, whoa, already? I got pulled into a sinkhole because someone in clan chat said that there was one running on a specific world, but instead I ended up just like duoing with this guy, but it was worth it after all because I got level 95 engineering and then there got this 400 pointer. Here's me, I had waltzed into ED2 because there was a bunch of points for killing, killing Blackstone Dragon once? I don't know. And killing some Celestial Dragons too, so I waltzed in, did this thing, and, oh man, I was pretty sad when I didn't, clear Veraklith before the second Spire here. Whatever. This was just a big PR time. I was gobsmacked, and I think this might even be. Let me check because I'm actually still logged in the main game right now. Beasts, Skelzuck. Oh yeah, okay, so my hard mode record on main game is 1702.4. And I was like, wow, that's to rival main game, and I didn't have half the crap that I do on main game. I didn't even have Greater Chain. If I had Greater Chain, I probably would have surpassed the main game, but such as it is, Leagues, you're OP. Ancient Hilt, and you can see that's the 5KC in hard mode achievement there. Getting 115 Slayer from a Reaper at Zuck. And then Magma Core. I don't even think I'd killed 10 Zuck on both modes yet. I think I had to do one more kill and then I was done at Zuck. So yeah, 2 normal modes, because I failed one, succeeded at one, and then 8 hard modes, and that was it. I took a picture of the chest just because, holy crap, you know? And I got a dupe Obsidian Blade. I didn't even remember that. I didn't even remember that I did, because it's so, like, irrelevant. You only need the one, but, like, holy crap. Man. I was lucky at this boss in main game and in Leagues. Here's the equipping it. I forget why I screenshotted this. Probably because I just got the Jaws of the Abyss. That's a bit of an inside joke in my Discord. I sent this to my brother and I said, top 10 images taken moments before disaster. You know why? We're doing Darkness of Halavale, that's why. Catalyst Dragon Trophy, so 60,000 League points from using a method one of my friends taught me to craft a soul rune. If you use Cheapskate with a binding rod, you can downgrade a time rune into a soul rune, and so you can get the craft a soul rune. You can get the craft a soul rune achievement complete without crafting at the soul altar, which was really useful. King of the castle, king of the castle. I have a chair, I have a chair. Yeah, so you have to do Defender of Varrock to do River of Blood. You know, obviously I was doing Darkness of Halavale, so I was targeting the Marique series. And I hadn't done this easy Varrock task with no requirements yet. So there you go. Here's an Igneous Kalzuk. I went and did all the kilns for that nonsense, and I got it. Breeding Shiny Dinosaur. This really took me longer than I wished it would have, but it was worth the 400 points because it comes along with 120 farming. Again, spamming advanced time. It's very powerful. This is in Lord of Vampirium when you're talking to Lord Draken. He asks you about several things, and one of them you can respond, I'm thankful for it, which is another inside joke. 50 million rune crafting XP. This was after Lord of Vampirium. You can see because I still got the Sunspear in my inventory. Yeah. So the Marique series, every reward went on agility except for those I put on rune crafting to finish rune crafting. Here's me getting 99 Dungeoneering on an occult floor. And then after the occult floors came the warp floors, and I killed Blink here. The River of Blood completion. Picking off some easy tasks here. So Whirligig and 63,460. I wanted to get that. I was like thinking I gotta get something big for 63.5, and then I can just log out of my account. It ended up not happening because I forgot I was literally 23 strength XP shy of 50 mil, and I went and just punched a rock crab to death because I forgot to bring runes to this, and then I got 50 mil strength for killing a rock crab, and I also had yet to kill a rock crab at this point, so I was like, okay, well, there goes my idea of doing something cool for 63.5, but whatever, I kind of still had things I wanted to do on the game anyway, so I probably would have kept going regardless. It's just, I wanted to get this from, like, unlocking a dungeoneering door that requires strength, and, well, that didn't come to pass. So Rush of Blood to impress Morvrin. I had done Legacy of Seergaze, and you have to do, I believe, any tier of the thing. And, so I figured I might as well do it. It took 10 minutes. I got to, like, wave 48 or something, which was pretty pretty extreme. I always feared that as a comp cape wreck when I was about to say as a kid, but it really wasn't that long ago. I guess it was only 8 years ago. Um, Maybe I was a kid at that point. Who knows? Anyways, you don't unlock it until you talk to Morven. And I was like, what? Did I just spend 10 minutes on nothing? But no, I got my points. Wilted rose emoji. That is all. Here's me kind of tying up loose ends in the God Wars dungeon with the God Sword. That was just like some AFK you could do, and it was 80 points. Oh, okay, yes. I was like, why did I screenshot this? Oh yeah, look at the dungeon floor layout. It is exceptionally linear, unidirectional. So that was just frustrating in this dungeon, but luckily the time was really good. Like for solo large, 6 minutes in the boss encounter was pretty satisfied with. 50 million engineering XP. I was at a point where I had about 16 million engineering XP banked with the token boxes from all the Dragonkin 5s I did, and I was like, hang on. The more Dungeoneering I did, the more I realized I can just get 120. Because I also kind of wanted to get max total on leagues. And so I was like, shoot for the moon, we're going to go for 120. Here's an easy 200 pointer I hadn't picked off yet at the Orania altar using an giant pouch and then a Abyssal Titan. And 150 million XP in Archaeology. I think I may have AFK'd more Archaeology to get more Dragonkin 5s to bulk up the amount of tokens I had banked. So it was kind of a mix when I was doing Dungeoneering of just floors and then the Archaeology collections. This is what I got up to on main game while the league was going on. More KBD. Same as ever. 50 million attack from a Rambunctious Ramaki. And then back on the Demonheim artifacts. Defeating Calgur, I got to link up with some of my clanmates to run 3 warp floors, and we were fortunate enough to encounter Calgur. I think this was the first time I would have had the opportunity to see him. War Dungeoneering XP, this was on some occult floors, so one of my clanmates had to drop out because he had already done all his occult floors for that prestige, and so, yeah. Booting them off because I finally had 115 Dungeoneering, so. 119 Slayer from a Worm. I'm getting really close to max total, as you can see. 120 Dungeoneering right here. 50 million thieving right here. I got into a little rotation of doing thieving and agility. So you could loot these safes, run 1 lap of Anachronia, and then you had maybe 1, maybe 2 dead minutes. But it kind of beat doing one or the other, because this is like way faster thieving XP than anywhere else. And then the Anachronia course helped to break up the monotony. You could find little things to do as well. Here's me spamming some research because I got to like 190 mil XP from getting 120 Dungeoneering in Archaeology, that is. So I just advanced some time through some research to just force the 200 mil. And there it is. Here's me finishing my Fort Guardhouse. Sorry for that Discord ping. Defeating Magister. Kill 50 Vile Blooms. This is me leveling up my Slayer as well to 120. And here it is. I got it at some salami. As well as this task. You can see I've got 2 left on the task. I had 34 when I got the 122. So I actually timed this really well. Unlocking Double Surge from Anachronia shortly after getting 50 mil Agility XP. Really all coming together. Here's the one Razio kill I ended up doing. I really thought I would do more of this. I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to do the whole collection log, but like, oh my goodness. I kind of underestimated how just like Eek! The boss like doesn't work when you don't have any of the best in slot gear. What was my kill time here? Probably nothing impressive. I can't even see it, but yeah. Was not the biggest fan of that. I went and did a full rotation of all the God Wars 2 bosses, so I did Hellweir, Greg, Twin Furies, Vindicta. You can see the completed Telos sigil in my inventory. And the last thing I wanted to do, I truly wanted to do on Leagues, was the 500% Telos. And I did it. It took me like 4-ish tries. I kept getting to like P4 or 5 and then just bricking. Not my finest hour, but, you know, for the 500, it was a fair few points. I was willing to suffer through it. The 1K, I kind of knew I didn't have a chance because I'm not really that. I'm not that guy at Telos, so we stuck with the 500. But then I gained a second wind in Leagues because I was like, well, I kind of want to keep going, and so I did keep going. I picked off some of the not 200 pointers that were pretty easy, like all the temple trekking ones, like here with Rolane Twicket. Then I did Legends Quest, which is a quest I really like, and I figured I kind of owed it to myself to do, and it unlocked 160 points worth of stuff for me. So I did that. And then here's me getting 69,420 points on Leagues, which is where I left it. And where I left off before I showed you all the record of my account at the start of this video. So thank you very much for watching. I've been very long-winded. Oh, of course, the actual very last thing I did on my Leagues account, I just did this tonight. Doing 200 mil magic. I was like 190 mil magic, and remember when I was training defense, I left my XP on defense for a bit too long. I had like 77 mil defense XP, and I really wanted to get 200 mil in magic, and it's all good. I mean, it's made up XP anyways. It's a made up game mode. I owed it to myself to get the 200 mil, and I just did it. I just AFK'd it at some good old-fashioned Abyssal Beasts, which were, you know, a good keystone in there of, like, this is essential because I needed overloads. And with that ending of the loop of the music, hope you've all enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed Leagues. Look forward to the next one. Peace.